Can't wait.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is finally set for release. The game that in its world premiere trailer got ratioed to hell, twice as many dislikes as likes when Ubisoft premiered Assassin's Creed Shadows, as people realized that the first game that was set in Japan that people have been asking for over a decade now from Assassin's Creed was set to not feature a Japanese male protagonist, but instead Yasuke, the mythical black samurai Yasuke, a person who did actually exist, but was not actually a samurai, which has been proven time and time again. And that didn't go over well for them. And over the course of the last several months, we have seen bombshell after bombshell of bad news after bad news for Ubisoft, not just when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, but when it comes to their entire company. Assassin's Creed Shadows faces backlash in Japan over shrine depiction. Politicians and temple priests blast Ubisoft for cultural disrespect. Then the game leaked. It got released like a month before it was supposed to be, because this game's been delayed like 8 months by this point in time. But it leaked out there. People were live streaming the entire game on Twitch. That's how bad it was. And then, of course, we have internal communication from Ubisoft that is showing people getting fired, and the company is essentially on the brink of financial failure. Everything is riding on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And on basically the eve of its release, or at least a couple days before, you now have shareholders who hold a significant portion of Ubisoft stock that are about to stage a protest outside Ubisoft's office because of how badly they've mismanaged this company. Ubisoft faces shareholder revolt as financial crisis deepens. Minority shareholder plans demonstration outside Ubisoft's headquarters, citing deceptive tactics. AJ Investments, led by CEO Jiraj Krupka, has announced Ubisoft's management of severe mismanagement, lack of transparency, and allowing the company's value to plummet. The latest development adds to an already long list of controversies and setbacks surrounding the publisher, particularly the disastrous rollout of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And you know this, Jay, it's not just surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows. Look through 2024 and the laundry list of failures that they had. I bet you were excited for Skull and Bones, right?
Very. I was waiting, and then it came out, and then it just disappeared. And now I think it's $12.
I mean, they were working on that game for
years,
easily
man.
The better part of a decade, and it kept getting delayed. Reportedly, they dumped around $800 million into that thing total. And
$800 million into that crap game?
Yeah.
What did they hire? Holy crap.
And then you look at what I think the main thing is just how long it took and how often they revamped it and reset it and had to redo everything. And then you look at Star Wars Outlaws that also released in 2024. That was a massive disappointment for them and a financial failure.
Yeah, who's playing that still? Anybody?
Not that I know. But Ubisoft investors are demanding answers. Krupke has been highly critical of Ubisoft's leadership, stating the company's been hiding critical information from shareholders. Among his allegations are claims that Ubisoft failed to disclose discussions with Microsoft, EA, and other publishers reportedly interested in acquiring its franchises. Additionally, he pointed to Ubisoft's lack of communication about an Assassin's Creed Mirage DLC partnership with Saudi investment firm Savvy Group, suggesting those decisions were deliberately kept from investors. In a statement, Krupke calls for a clear roadmap to recovery, citing declining stock value, underwhelming execution, and Ubisoft's inability to keep up with industry trends. He also accused the company of prioritizing institutional investors at the expense of retail shareholders, particularly following the repeated delays of Assassin's Creed Shadows and the stock declines that followed. So everything for Ubisoft essentially rests in the hands of Yasuke and Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've maintained throughout this entire thing, despite all this backlash and the controversy, it's still Assassin's Creed. It's still going to sell millions of copies, but this thing needs to be a massive smash hit for them, like truly a smash hit within the framework of the Assassin's Creed franchise. And we'll see how it's received. They've done a lot of damage control. They've done a lot of PR spinning, but here we are just a couple days before its release, and you got shareholders ready to stage demonstrations outside Ubisoft headquarters because of how poorly they've managed this entire company.
Yeah, this is what happens when you let activists into your company and they think that they're changing the world and that they're taking a step in the right direction for all of mankind by doing stuff like this. It just turns into one gigantic cluster after another. The fact that, man, people are going to protest because they hate what you're doing in the company, I mean, ought to tell you something. And after bomb, you would think. I used to feel this way about Lucasfilm. You know, it's like, how many failures do they have to have before they change the management? But they don't. They just keep going and keep going until the pride is so they're so prideful that they'd rather let. If I feel like, I personally feel, it's just an opinion, I feel like they'd rather let this company sink and fail and say, you know what, though, at least we tried for diversity. No one else can say that. I feel like they'd rather just let it burn than change. You know, then change their way and maybe produce something that's not so DEI heavy or message heavy or whatever you want to call it. I don't get it. But you're right. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the consumer. If the consumer wants to buy this and play it and see where we're going, that's what happens. Not what I say for sure. So
we'll see what happens, and if Yasuke gets embraced and accepted by all of the Assassin's Creed franchise players as the devs so desperately want to happen.
The thing is, like, I don't see anyone excited for this. Even maybe it's not in my algorithm, I don't know, but even with Star Wars Outlaws, there was that certain section, and I saw someone post in the chat that there's 1,500 people playing it right now. There you go. So I stand corrected when I said no one's playing it. But like the Disney Star Wars shill people, I guess you'd want to call that, at least they were tweeting about exciting and like, hey, this is going to be great. I can't believe this. Some of them were invited to the headquarters, you know, and got free copies and all that. But I'm not even seeing that for this game. So maybe it's out there and I just don't see it.
It might have a lot to do with your algorithm too.
Yeah.
I think you brought up a good point. Like, you see a lot of Star Wars stuff in general.
Right.
So it could be.
So I guess time will, again, even when it comes to Snow White or any of these things that we talk about, it just, at the end of the day, it's up to all you people in the chat and everybody else. So
it's
if you're going to spend money on these products or not.
It's up to us, Jay.
I'm not buying it.
It's not in your algorithm.
No, I didn't buy Skull and Bones, but I wanted to. I was all set. I remember telling, you know, even my audience, I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. And I always say the same thing. I was like, I usually wait about a month. I don't like buying brand new games. I usually wait about a month because two things are going to happen. Either it's going to be a massive success. Everybody loves it. Hey, congratulations. There we go. Good job. Like you will enjoy this, or it's going to go on sale. And so if I still want to play it at that time, I can get it for like 60% off. So
you got to fit in some Lawnmower Simulator today while you're wearing that shirt.
Maybe. Actually, you're not the first person to say that. But let's be honest. I'm not the channel you go to if you want like in-depth gameplay on brand new games. I ain't it. I know my place.
It's true.
So